and ready to rumble. I think we're live right now. Let's go. Yo, Leggy. So, big day today. The itty bitty bad boy, 52K, absolutely ridiculous. Big Monday session today as well. It was my girlfriend's birthday yesterday, so I'm a little bit worse for weather. It was quite a lot of alcohol, a couple of bottles of organic Redders, steak, lots of energetic movements, really tiring me out for the weekend. We know what's crack-a-lacking. So we've got the panel here. We've got Smallio and we've got Chrissy Boy. How are you boys doing? All good?
What's good, brother? We're chilling.
How's it going? You good?
Yeah, it's all good. A little bit worse for weather, but you know what, mate? It's Monday. Fucking let's get it done. It's Fun Day Monday or Money Mondays. The hangover can piss off, but it was a good birthday weekend. But yeah, you guys know how this works. I'm going to start with my charts. We'll do the long-term, medium, short-term, and then we'll go into Smallio, Chris, and we'll just chat at the end of it, do a big AMA and chat about everything going on. But Leggies, the price action of Bitcoin, we'll start with the lower time frame, so I'll whip down onto the hourly, and we'll have a look at what's crack-a-lacking here, because not much has really changed since my last stream, the 1 minute blast-off charts we were doing. I streamed for about a couple of hours. I think the price action was around here when we were streaming, and there was a short. So on stream, guys, I did a small position, kind of like a practical example of what a short position would be. And it was this area here. You can actually see these two wicks came into resistance. I think I was on the 5 minute time frame. Obviously, those areas are now going to be completely, blown up from this price action. But we were on this piece of price action here, guys. And there was a nice little Fibonacci retracement trade to be made. I can show you quickly right now. Get your fibs up. Draw a nice little fib retracement here. You can see that this price action actually came to the 618 twice, and you had two opportunities to get into short positions. And I was talking about how you play chess against the market and you try and predict what's going to happen, or you plan and prepare for what might happen, even if you don't know. And I was saying that the market's not really like a casino; it's more like playing chess, to be honest. You're trying to think multiple moves ahead, and that not knowing at the time, because I was saying I think Bitcoin probably will continue if we do get a wick down. Not knowing at that point, guys, that short actually did just just flow down, and that's exactly what we're speaking about here. Getting to positions at logical SR levels and then letting the market do the business and doing the work for you. But guys, as you can see here, we did actually get a move down. Another nice trade would have been to take a short, obviously logical SR. This area of resistance here, when we came into it, it probably would have been a logical place to look for a short. You could have got stopped out on that position. And then, guys, look at this again. So you have, I've said it for a million times, guys. You come into it, it's going to act as resistance. You short it. If you come down onto support, this level here, guys, support, broke through it as support again. That's a beautiful SR trade, guys, for you short-term traders. I'm just going and basically just recapping what I said in my last stream, but this would have been a really nice long here as well, because you can see you've broken back above this area of resistance, which was resistance. Now, sorry, it was support. Coming back into it, acting as support again. So it's an SR level, support, breakthrough deviation support, get back into that long position. And you probably could have taken a short here as well, which would have been stopped out if you want to be consistent with that strategy. Just longing and shorting SR. The probability is you're just going to get on the right side of it eventually, and that's what happened multiple times. So moved up here, guys. At this right level right now on the micro short term, and I don't usually do the 5 minute, but there's not really much going on the medium time frames, or like slightly higher term time frames. Fuck it, hell, they're just I'm all over the gaff. I'm feeling delirious. So in those like medium, higher time frames, all it is guys, is long until proven otherwise. There's nothing you can do here. There's nothing broken. I was saying on stream that I do think overall this will result in higher prices. You just can't bet against, a long-term uptrend. There's nothing changed on the price action to give you an inkling that maybe this is going to be breaking down. Yes, we do have much in bearish divergences and some overbought signatures, etc., like that. But you can't just go against, these types of moves because all your indicators are flashing. There needs to be some sort of confirmation that those indicators are going to result in the thing you think is going to happen. And right now, guys, as long as we're above this price action here, this price level, at around $51,200, there's just no way you can be bearish in any camp on Bitcoin. It's long until proven otherwise. You're just trading the SR levels. I would actually buy it again. I'd buy 51.2 again if we got a retest of it, and that's what potentially could result again, coming down into this like that. Bouncing off this region, bouncing up, higher low structure. Again, that will be another place I'll take along. You have a trend line which broke along here as well. All those, micro scalp guys on Twitter all calling for this trend line. Oh, yeah, when it breaks, we go lower. Actually, you have got the break and then the retest, so I do think probably does result in a little bit lower prices. But again, guys, it's long until proven otherwise. You can't go against this. There's nothing on the chart saying it's bearish yet. This, for all we say, for anyone's guess right now is this could go to 59K, and that would be the next logical area for that resistance. You can see it here. Let's use up here. We've got a nice little pocket actually at 60K. So we got 59,200 and then up to that near the all-time high level. Actually, it's drawn on beautifully at this level here. So you got a couple levels above us. I think me and Will, me and Will, God, I can't speak, legends. Oh, fucking hell. Big weekend on the lash for me. Christ, I haven't had a hangover in a while. So I think me and you, Will, were speaking about this. We were like, I think we said that 59K would be where I do think the upside is capped. I would be surprised if it goes any higher than around $59,000, $60,000 on this move. It doesn't mean it can't happen. I just said I'll be surprised if that happens. I do think 60,000 between 59 and 60K would cap this upside move. And then whether we have it coming back sideways for a while, fine, or we do have some sort of more major correction back down to $30,000, that would be, where the highest probability would lie in my book right now. I think it's unlikely we go any further than 59. Doesn't mean Bitcoin can't do it, guys, and that's why we're long until proven otherwise. The trading bot's long right now. I'll show that in a second. A lot of our other momentum indicators and a lot of other positions are long as well. But, you're long until proven otherwise. But my hunch would be that it probably didn't go that much above $60,000. And the higher we go now, for my medium-term thesis, the less likely I do think we're going to get that retest of around $30,000 to $32,000. I still think it's on the cards. I don't think it's said and done yet. But if we do go to $60,000, I do think the probability of us getting that retest that low goes a lot lower. The probability of that happening goes lower just because you need such a significant more amount of sellers to get you there. And also from our prior videos, guys, I was saying that what you want to be doing is buying all the relevant support levels on the way down. And you can see that this area here on the top of the ascending triangle, we got probably like 2 months ago now, 37, 38K. Up to 39. This level now is going to act as a significant support because it's already been support before already. So we know that there's already a lot of orders here, and you can probably see it on the order books as well. But we know that now all these guys have got in here and front ran it at $39,000. There's going to be even more buys laddered underneath this level. And if we get a lot of buy orders underneath here, guys, it's just going to be very difficult to break through it eventually if we do get there. And I do think Bitcoin will likely come down to around 42K. Again, I don't think it's going to go all the way to like 60, 70, 80, 90 on this specific move. I think we've been speaking about this in our group, in the VIP group. This is kind of the area of price action would be the most correlated to where if you look back in history, this type of price action is the most correlated to what we're doing right now. And we are probably around here. And then we're going into that last phase and then potentially sideways and flat for a while. I don't think we're going to get all the way through the summer. I've said from the beginning, guys, I do think the summer, there's going to be an area of volatility as the halving happens. And the halving what is the halving now, legends? Is it like 1st of July or something like that? When is the halving again? What date is it? Do you guys know?
It's about 60 days away, 55 days away.
55 days away, okay. Yeah, so I think that when we hit halving, I do think we're going to have a period after the halving where we go into some flat, sideways, boring price action. And a lot of guys will probably say, oh, but the halving's happened now. It's time to go up and continue the bull market. But there isn't actually many cases in history of after the halving happened, it happening immediately. There's a pretty decent time period, actually, about 6 months historically, where you get a bit of a lull phase. And I think that would make sense. Big move, bit of a lull phase going through the halving. And then we continue probably into next year, 25. And 25 is going to be the big fucking daddy year. So yeah, let me go back onto low time frames as well. So just to recap, guys, the trading bot did actually get back into a long as well. So I think the current positions here, I think we're looking at if it loads. I don't know what's going on with the interwebs right now. It's a bit slow on the old side. So yeah, we're in a current position right now, a long position from 51,852 at 0.02. So it's basically just got into it. Break even at the moment. The copiers have been killing it. But I would say that now this swing trading bot is back in a long. It does give me a little bit more confidence that potentially we could be continuing to swing. If it gets stopped out, that's fine. The level to hold is 51,200. We've said this a billion, trillion, gazillion times. And also I want to mention something as well, guys. The trading bot. So Bingx, right? There's a trading bot. What you want to be doing, guys, we have like 342 people who are following my spot trading. This is not my trading bot. Sorry. This is my spot account on Bingx. So this is manual trades I'm placing, guys. These are manual trades I'm placing on Bingx. I just want to make this point. If you're on Bingx right now, and you're expecting to get the gains of the trading bot, you're not actually following the trading bot if you're following the spot part of Bingx. So you go MDX algo on copy trading, you click on spot. If you're following that, you're not getting any exposure to the trading bot, you need to be following the Bingx perpetual futures. That's what the trading bot's set on. Standard futures is global markets like SBX, Dixie, and etc. Going on NASDAQ. You don't want to be following that either. We don't have a trading strategy built on that. So want to reiterate this point. We did an email today as well. So look in your email if you're a MDX Algo premium user or if you get the newsletter every single Monday. Just make sure you're not following the spot account, because the spot account is just me using a completely different DCA strategy to buy Bitcoin when I think it's relevant time to buy it. You want to be following the Bingx perpetual futures. Just want to make that really clear, guys. Bingx, link in description. You need to use the ref link to get it. Okay, so don't go crazy with the spot. Right? You're not going to get the gains. There's a few people who've made some money, but you're going to make significantly more money with the trading bot. Okay. Some interesting data as well, guys, is that the BTC treasuries, in terms of where's Bitcoin being held, we're actually at 10.279% now. So in terms of the 21 million Bitcoin which is out there, which is in ETF countries, public companies, private companies, and Bitcoin mining companies, that number has actually grown by at least 1% in just the last month. This website is now updating much more rapidly, so they're actually getting the price for the amount they're holding feed. So the exchanges, the public companies, private companies, all of the institutions, what they're doing is they're actually sending this feed in much quicker, so we can get a much more accurate number. And guys, we're looking at MicroStrategy now, 190,000 Bitcoin. If you go to, I don't really know what this is about China and the USA. The USA apparently have 200,000, but this is debatable. And then you have Mt. Gox, 200,000, Block 140,000. We have Grayscale iTrust. So if you guys are actually interested, iShares, the BTC, iShares from BlackRock, so the product they actually offer called iBit, they actually have now got 116,000 Bitcoin. This ETF product now have. So BlackRock essentially own 116,000 Bitcoin, which is actually pretty monumental considering it took Grayscale, which has been in the industry for more than 10 years. I don't actually know if it's more than 10 years. It's probably around 10, maybe 8 or 9. But they've got 2.1% of all supply in this exchange-traded fund product as a trust. And BlackRock have already got 0.5% in 2 months. So this is setting a pretty mental, rapid increase in Bitcoin being held and going off the books. All this means is that a lot of Bitcoin's becoming, is going into non-circulating supply. So the Bitcoin's coming off the books. It's coming off exchanges. Custodians are holding it. And it's a really good guys. This is really, really good for the long-term value proposition of Bitcoin. Fidelity as well at 0.4%. So this is rapid shit. It took freaking Grayscale, however long they've been about, probably 8 to 10 years. It took fucking BlackRock 2 months to get to 0.5%. So very, very, very promising for the long term. CBI, guys, is great. I do think that the CBI will pull back as well. I've said this multiple times. I do think we're going to get a pullback in the summer for Bitcoin. And I'll leave the commitment to traders for you, Chris, because you love bringing that on your charts. And just to recap, guys, it's long until proven otherwise. The level of the line in the sand for me is 51,200. We deviated it. Again, it's just flat SR. If you see the price come back to it, you buy it. Whether we break above it and continue, whatever. Let's say you buy it and you get a bounce trade, then it fails, and you break down, fine, you get stopped out of break even. Then you're looking for the short here. I wouldn't say in most occasions to try and wait for the breakout and try and short it when it's breaking it. I would just wait for the retest. Sometimes if you wait for the retest here and it comes to it and you don't get it, fine, you get stopped out. You get stopped out at a percent loss. When you come back to it, retest it, you can lose you could probably lose yourself a couple of percent here and then make a massive gain here. It's actually going to be, well, depending on what leverage you're on, but you could have 2.7% up on just flat 1x. Okay, so any amount of leverage you're going to be doing well. And just play this level, guys. 51,200. That's the line in the sand. It's long enough to prove otherwise. The trading bot is long again. Just to recap, Leggies, current positions. It just went long, actually. So it's basically just gone into it. And the short we had here, the short I made on stream is now out. I'm not in that position anymore. That's taken profit. I'm not exposed to the market until, I am exposed with the trading bot, but I'm not exposed to the market with short-term plays. The next play I will look for is $51,200. I think I've tried my best to make that as clear as possible. I am putting on a brave face. I feel like shit. I am hungover from the weekend. It was Dashka's birthday yesterday, and we did go out, get drinking, party. It got a little bit hectic, but into bed at 6 a.m. with lots of energetic movements, legends. I think everybody knows what the girlfriend gets on her birthday. Many deep-hearted presents. Anyway, I'm going to move on with that, and I'm going to bring in the legend himself, Smallio. Fuck it up. Smallio, my guy, what's been crack-a-lacking, homie? So you've been in, I've seen you in the VIP group. You've been smashing out loads of predictions, and let's bring up your charts, man. So what have you got for us? Let's just go long-term, medium-term, short-term, and I'll just interject anything I think is appropriate, really, brother. There, your chart's up now.
Yeah, so high time frame, not a lot has changed, ladies and gents. We've just poked above the resistance we had here. No real proper, I guess we have had a slight close above it here, but these are only wicks. Closed above this area here, but again, there's just a massive gap here. And what we're looking for is either, you know, if you look at the sort of previous price action in this area, it tends to have some sort of pullback. Pretty much all scenarios in which it was here did. But again, it's really just if it can get above this weekly high wick. If it can and it can hold support here, then it's going to continue. I was looking for just a straight continuation if they wanted to do it. But I think, you know, if we're going to start messing around in this area, we're probably going to come back and retest 48. I think that seems fair, maybe even 45. Any of that would be completely fair and would still look completely bullish. Again, just, you know, standard tap of support. So I don't think there's not a huge amount to add on to high time frame stuff on Bitcoin. But what I can say is on the order flow side, or the order book side rather, there is quite a bit of pulling going on in the books in general. And I think, you know, we're seeing a little bit more stack up on top here. We're seeing a little bit more pushing down of orders. And conversely, people aren't particularly interested in buying this next dip. This one, I thought it'd have a lot more sort of power coming out of it. I really wanted to see them gain sort of 52.4 with strength, because that's the 4-hour level that we really need to essentially reclaim. So if we look into here, this was our previous 4-hour resistance range high. And again, just double tapping that as a lower high, I don't like. That to me reminds me similar of this move, where we did a kind of like lower high and then went off a cliff and kind of tapped the lower swings here. So, you know, you could see a similar setup to this happen. You could see us kind of going sideways here a little bit and then just come down and retest all these areas, which would also kind of make sense, which is kind of just what I showed you guys on the higher time frame, essentially. So I kind of like that as an idea now.
Where are your next trades, Willie Poo, mate? Where are your next buy orders?
I mean, it's super obvious for this, isn't it? It's either short this, right, same as that you said, or it's going to be they do one more drive deviation and then short the underside of that. There's that's the only two things you can really do in this area. I'm not looking to buy support again. I just think it looks really flimsy. I don't like buying trends that slowly do this. I think
it's like a kind of pincering wedge formation. Yeah, they actually have a really, really high hit rate in crypto. Like these kind of they look like a reverse trumpet, and then they just get to a little peak and then just nuke out of it or pump out of it, depending. They do.
As soon as it struggled here, I liked it up until kind of this part here where it did this and then just immediately bartered back down, and that's just very selly order flow. And look at this, it's did an engulfing candle and immediately rejected. Normally, when you see that happening, it's just over. So look, we can.
I think that's the loss level for downside. By the way, your 51,789 level. Like if we lose that, I think you can almost just start targeting 50K.
I think it's going lower than 50 as well. Like I don't, you know, 50's already been tested pretty much. Like
they front ran the shit out of it, but it was over the weekend. That's the big thing.
I don't think they're going to stop there. Like looking at the orders here, there isn't much sitting there. I think it's more like there's a little bit, but I think it'll go a bit lower. I think it'll come down to these levels. We've got quite a bit.
I want to answer this question real quick. Someone just said, "Are you allowed to drink in Dubai?" Yes, you are allowed to drink in Dubai. Happy days, legends. Party up. And guys, put your where you're watching from in the chat right now. Put where you're watching from in the chat. Be interesting. I'm looking at the live chat right now. Put where you're watching from and smash a like on this video, legends. Okay. Carry on, my guy.
Good stuff. So again, you saw a similar thing here. There's quite a bit of top buying interest across the candles here. Generally speaking, I'm not seeing a huge amount of shorting coming in up here, which is pretty indicative of us also having some sort of short-term top. I also see this gap we've been talking about for quite a while here, which just never got filled, which comes down to essentially like 49.8. But yeah, when you see all these stops lined up in a row, this just looks pretty nice, pretty ripe for the taking, I would say. And I just wouldn't discount this ending up and resolving in a pretty darn big wick all the way down. which gets bought back up and does another leg. So I don't think that we've topped, but I think that we need we don't need, but we're probably going to have some sort of some nuke like this, which comes down to this support here and just gets massively bought back up, comes down and holds this, and then moons out the dip for a last wave up to I don't know, 58, 59, 60, somewhere in that area. So that's kind of my thoughts. One last thing to look at as well is that they did nuke quite a few shorts off here on Binance finally. And longs are now kind of, I guess, going sideways. But what you tend to see here, as you know, as you've mentioned before, Max, is they tend to just start adding on dips now. So everyone who missed this move is now, each time that we have a small dip, you're going to see this probably move up. And we'll see if shorts add. But I like this setup now. They've nuked off a lot of shorts, and you're not seeing people eager to short this. So I think the majority of people have flipped at the top or the local top, and I would expect to see this probably coming back down unless we reclaim, what is it, 52.4. So that's essentially buy now in a nutshell. Quite a quick one today. There's not much else to say about this. It's pretty stagnant price action.
Is just check out MDX Algo, what the long to short ratio is on that as well when you're on your screen. I could bring it up on mine as well, but I just wanted to see, because you saying that on, okay, yeah, so a little bit, yeah, it was worse, you know, it was so short, but you are right, there has been a few shorts being nuked off, so that's a good sign. You know, I think I agree, mate. It's like, it's long until proven otherwise. You can't go against this because it's an uptrend. But when when the break does happen, I think it's going to be extremely fast move down. Not many people could actually predict exactly where it goes. I think it's just going to next support, which would be the top side of where we stopped on the way up. And then you just buy it and just flip it. I think it's going to be around, I do think we get 42 again, but I don't think it goes that quickly in one move. I think you're probably looking at around the top side. Probably around 45K would be where it nukes to really quickly. Do you agree or disagree?
It absolutely could do that. You know, I also quite like the scenario where it comes down here and does something along the lines of this. You know, it doesn't have to repeat it exactly, but, you know, some sort of range like this, which they did before, like that kind of looks nice to me as well. So I'm not saying they're going to do the exact same thing again, but it's that kind of PA would be quite nice and would do that. The typical, maybe this time they actually do the Lord Dumpu short here, which would be nice.
I love the Lord Dumpu shorts. Fucking your name is Lord Dumpu in the chat now, bro. It's done. Everybody knows our secret. They're all going to become millionaires as well. We're over. Yeah. The edge is gone.
The edge is gone. But yeah, I like this as potentially a sideways setup or a down setup now, unless we reclaim what I just said. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
I'd be good for alts.
Man. Yeah, and I have a
look. I think that's another thing as well. Alts look really primed. As you just said, Chris, like lots of alts are kind of sitting on their supports and look ready to go. So it kind of all goes hand in hand. That dominance is looking a bit toppy as well. I don't know. There's a lot of things that point to a little alt rally here.
You look at look at total 2, man.
Look at total 2 and total 3. Yeah.
Yeah, total 2 coming up nicely. I think total 2, you know, we're looking at potentially. Let me look at the fib on this as well. So I don't know where this is drawn from. This is the whole macro structure, but I would say it's not really relevant right now. But in here, total 2, I think altcoins do have a little bit more time to run. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance as well, I haven't looked at this in a while. I think Bitcoin dominance is doing that horrible. Yeah. So this is good, a good sign for altcoins. Like you just said, Will, a lot of these altcoins looking there at support. You know, it's not 100% correlated, but this is a good sign. You know, this looks like some horrible sort of like, I call it like a crocodile top or something, or crocodile range. You're just getting all these wicks up to the top of it. This is not obviously price action, but yeah, this is likely going to come down to around here to support, if you want to call it that. But yeah, this is definitely an environment for alts. And I think Bitcoin is definitely due that. I've said from the beginning, I don't think Bitcoin's going to go above 60,000 on this. I think 60,000 really would cap it. If it goes any further, fine, that's cool. You know, we're saying to you on this channel, you're long until proven otherwise. You don't want to get in the way of these things because the velocity of a move can always go further than you expect, and it's much more difficult to predict when it will stop. The direction is much easier. But I think 60K really does cap it. And you just got to look at those lower time frames. What we do, we've got to trade it. The bot is now long, so the MDX swing bot is long. I do take a little bit. I do look at that and go, okay, look, you know, if we're going to be moving higher, the bot's going to catch it. So it increases the probability, even though the win rate's low. It doesn't mean that we're in a swing. So yeah, again, just to recap, guys, it's this level 51,200. I think how many more times can we say the level? This is the level to look out for a sustained break, and you get like a long-term 4-hour to a daily close below it. The deviations are fine. Just buy it and sell it relevantly wherever you go into it, long or short, and then wait for this here. That'll be my next trade for sure, 51.2 for a bounce up. And then, yeah, if you get the rejection, I think it's a quick move down. I actually think we'll probably go all the way to 45 and pretty quick move. Yeah, I think we're looking at around 49K could be a stop off for sure. But I think this area up here wasn't as significant as down here. So I think it could be a stop off, like you said, Will, something like that into there. And then maybe the Lord Dumpu trade plays out. And then we actually do go and get a significant move down into like 45, 42. That would be the scenario I see for when we do break the trend. Doesn't mean it has to happen now. It could happen at 60, but I just think it's going to be not a very slow, nice, smoothing downside. I think it's either going to be a very quick move to the downside and then go flat. I don't think we're just going to get I think a lot of people are going to jump out of this trade. It's been fucking mooning for months. And like we said, the long to short ratio is really pitted on one direction. So we know what happens there. Anything I want to add to that? Because I was thinking about CME. Yeah, so let's do the CME with you, Chrissy boy. And tell us what you think about the markets, my guy. So CME, what are the dealers up to, bro? What are these motherfuckers doing? The boys who aren't the boys, the asset managers who think they're the boys and they're not the boys. Then you have the dealers who are the actual boys who aren't actually trading right now. So what's going on, bro?
Dude, it is incredibly, especially since it's backdated data, but this is all from Tuesday last week. So every time on the Friday we get a report out, it's backdated data. But it is incredibly risk on as a total environment. Massive increases in positions across the board. CME now commanding the open interest across Bitcoin exchanges. The big thing to remember is that they're actually closed today still.
Yeah, it's a holiday right now, isn't it? I was actually laughing with you about this earlier, President's Day or some shit. Like the amount of in England, we are not celebrating the government's birthday. Like it just goes to show how patriotic these fuckers are in America. Let's celebrate the fucking government's birthday. It's like,
it's
guys,
Washington's birthday.
Job. Yeah, no, thank you.
George Washington's birthday. But
the
yeah, so that's all. Yeah, but no, it's like effectively looking at the CME right now. We'll see what happens when it opens up. If we do start breaking down right now and losing levels, we'll likely create a large gap above us. We still have a bit of an older gap. I thought it was filled, but I actually looked into it. It was quite a small gap down here at 47.8, 47.9, which kind of plays out with the idea that if we do have a nuke down, there's some good areas down here that we want to target anyways. But the biggest things here is, we're seeing the dealers going long in these areas. They're taking directional trades, which is always a good sign. They're also adding shorts in these zones, probably all reported at the highs here before we started breaking down. The big thing to keep in mind is the leverage funds are incredibly short. So there's a shit ton of open interest short that's still playable. And likely if we do get that final wave up into the 58, 60K zone, that's going to be the last straw. And that's going to be the liquidity that's going to be used to take them out. But yeah, right now, massive increases in longs, definitely expecting a bigger move coming up. We've been flat and sideways, which played into the spreads increasing for the dealers and the leverage funds in the current structure. As long as we're going flat and sideways here, we're not actually breaking down yet. It works in their favor. I think at the end of the day, let me go use the CME to talk about the normal price action, but I think that's effectively, I really like yours and I like Will's ideas there. I'm looking at this 51.6, 51.7 level. There's some daily time frame demand here. And if we do start breaking that structure hard, we're likely going to see some failure that breaks us back lower and potentially much lower into something like, the 47, 48K zone, if that's the continuation failure. But wanted to point out too,
it'll be a quick move. I think it's going to be a bit of a spark. There's a lot of freaking guys, I think it's, like I said before, I think it's long until proven otherwise. We probably go higher up towards that 59, but there's going to be a moment when that long to short ratio really begins to flip, and then that fuel's going to come on the other side, and I think it's going to be a bit like a light match going back down, and then I think we'll peter into the middle and then it's flat, but we get the lull phase after halving for sure. That's what I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. And so looking at the structure, just want to point out that 48.3 level from last Monday played out to the dot, to the T for that expansion up, which was awesome. So really happy with all the overall price action. But like Will said, it's definitely looking toppy. We're failing to make new highs. We've broken some lower time frame structure of range lows, 51.2. And there was the easy long regain to take it back to the range high. the invalidation of these little shorts down is effectively 52.4, 52.5, establishing demand where there's now resistance. And yeah, I think it'd be healthy for everything. And like in this move over the weekend, we've seen a little bit of flipping, and we'll show that with exit charts showing the long short ratio being a little bit different across the exchanges, where it feels like short capitulation. And that's usually a good sign, where everyone who tries to short on the way up starts to then say, well, I've been wrong this whole time. I keep getting stopped out on these little pullbacks. So now what do? They start flipping long. And once they flip long, the liquidity starts flipping long. It's just going to be fuel for the fire on to the way down. So
let me load up my I just want to do, because I think the long to short ratio is definitely going to play a factor in this. And right now, if you look at my chart, I'm loading it up. We've still got like freaking 57% short. What's going to happen quite likely, guys, and this is what I've seen literally just by using this, looking at the long to short ratio over many years now, is that it's not, the long to short ratio isn't like this kind of like exact timing indicator, because all these shorts, right, are right now getting hit, they're getting stopped out, they're getting stopped out, they're getting stopped out. And what will happen is the market will probably flip into more of a long posture. And then what will happen is it won't be instant. There'll probably one more blow off top where everyone is buying and everyone is long. And then that will be the wick. And then that'll be the Burj Khalifa wick. But right now, guys, the fuel is up. I've said it from the beginning. Like, if everyone's going to keep shorting this on retail exchanges like Binance, you know, it's just as soon as the market does dump, everyone gets into those winning positions and it just pushes back above them. They start getting stopped out and they get liquidated. And obviously, we know, guys, that a stop loss, it's just a forced entry. So like from whatever side, if you're short and you get stopped out, you're forced to buy, and vice versa. So, you know, it's just that classic price action where it looks like the price action is being forced up a hill, like a fat person being forced up a hill. You know, it's like the SPX sometimes just looks like a fat person trying to be like rolled up. And it's just because you're literally getting these forced buys happening every single time everybody gets stopped out. And it doesn't look pretty. I wouldn't say this uptrend looks that pretty, to be honest. Like, it's nice, obviously it's going up, but there hasn't been the classic up, higher low, classic up. It's been very, very jaggedy, and it's just all these guys getting fucked up on the way up. This it's just parabola after parabola, but we are definitely getting close to the end of it, guys, on the medium term, because you can see it's the slope of the move. Actually, you know, it's kind of mental. The slope of the move and the speed of it is getting a little bit crazy and unsustainable. So it will surprise me massively if we carry on above 60. It's between here and here, guys, and then we're coming back into this and fucking around for probably 6 months before halving. And I think that'll be the most pain for most people. Oh, no, the halving's happening. It has to go up. Well, actually, let's just go flat and be boring like the summer. Do you remember the summer legends? You remember that fucking summer in England, Will? This boring-ass summer. The halving happened here. I've said it before, but the halving happened about here. Everybody thought it was time to go, and everybody just got chopped out of the trade for 6 months. And then it happened at the end of 6 months where everybody left, and then they missed the move, obviously. That's what always happens. But yeah, I'm reiterating the point over and over again. I think, you know, there's not much else we can talk about really, except it's going up and it's probably going to come down around 60. And that long to short ratio will flip at some point. But I'll bring you back in, Chris. Let's have a look at those liquidation levels. I can see it firing off. What do you think about licks? There is a lot building up beneath us for sure.
Yeah, but here's the big thing. It's like we're not really breaking the structure. It can look as shitty as they want to make it look. I'm more concerned if we do something similar to the ETF announcement, WIC. If we were to do something like that come Tuesday morning when the markets are opening up in the US, we just go straight vertical and then we close back below stuff. Like, that's the end in my mind. That's
like
the
that
end.
as well. I love those moves. I like trading those moves. I like the real quick move up, nuke down, and then you get into the short on that retest. I love those ones.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We've got some high leverage stuff below us. So if we do get a straight move down to 50K first, likely we get a bounce back up, at least to retest floor, the current structure. The thing that would concern me the most is if we do get back down to like the long liquidity, 48, 47K, losing a lot of this structure here at 48.3, 48.4, that starts to get really ropey in my mind, because then it's like, what do we have here? We have basically straight down into a very heavy liquidity pocket. So it's just, it starts looking a little nasty. But if we're talking about, you know, that being the last down wave before one final pop up, we'll see if we can actually get it.
There's one more, brother. It's one
more.
It's the fucking one more. And it literally has been one more. And like, obviously, we did a great job at, you know, warning people about the ETF, buy the rumor, sell the news. Where am I? There we are. Fucking hell, I'm all over the gaff. The alcohol's talking. But yeah, that buy the rumor, sell the news event. But yeah, as soon as we held the support of that ascending triangle, essentially this has just been another huge one more. Considering that we came to first level of support, it's actually very it's pretty nice. It went to like 39k and straight off it. It's a very, very bullish sign, but it will all come to a head. I think all that liquidation levels you're showing on your chart, Chris, will get hit eventually. There's not going to be a free ride. Even if, you know, the market is significantly short on Binance, it doesn't mean that there's lots of other people who have longs from lower down, because it just means there's so many shorts coming in. I think, Will, what was that chart you were looking at a second ago with the long to short ratio? Do you want to bring that back up and just show like the difference in the longs, just showing that there are still longs out there, but the shorts, this thing here. So it's like, you know, there still is the longs coming in. This is a different exchange. Which exchange is this? Is this Binance on?
Yeah, this is Binance futures. The thing is that there's a bunch of different types of areas to look at this. You can also look at USDTM. They all have very different sort of results as far as what's happening on Bitcoin at the moment. And I think especially looking at this, I mean, you still have some shorts here, but a lot got wrecked out there. It's kind of hard to look at the moment because everywhere has a different result. But I think I like to go for Binance just because it has the majority.
It's just got so much volume. Like if you look at Binance, I think. Well, we obviously, like, this is the reason we look at it. I'll quickly look at my chart. The reason we guys look at Binance, and I'll zoom in on it just so it makes it easier, is that essentially the open interest on Binance is one of the top. Like, obviously CME now is number one, which is actually amazing to see that the institutions have taken over the most open interest. But the reason we look at Binance is because most of the trading action, especially from retail traders, is happening there. So retail traders usually get targeted because they're like the small krill or the small fish within the ocean. They get targeted by all the predators, and those predators are taking money essentially off them. But yeah, you can see that that's got the most volume. So it really is interesting, guys, the long and short ratio. But right now, you know, this is the way you analyze it. If most people are freaking short, it's unlikely that the market is going to give them what they want. Okay, so that's why the price of Bitcoin, since around the shorts really started piling in at 46,700. So remember on the price action, guys, just a little bit of an educational look back. It nuked, and then I was like, get in at support, and then at this level here, guys, we were saying if it's above 42k, you look for longs, but look for a short at about 46,700. That would have been the perfect Lord Dumpu trade where you have the high, you come down to the low, and you get into the golden pocket and you take a short. Works out really, really well. Good risk to reward trade. But on this occasion, guys, everybody did start getting short. And I have a chart which shows you exactly what's happening. We're actually going to bring it to MDX Algo soon, where you have a chart which shows you where the longs and shorts come on with Binance. It's being developed at the moment. And this was when everyone started shorting. And that is pretty much exactly why, you know, the market is just going against all those people who got into shorts there, which is the correct thing to do. It's just you need to have an appropriate stop loss when it goes, you know, it doesn't go your way. And all this is essentially just, it doesn't look very organic, the price action, okay? I'm not saying it has to look organic to be real price action, because there is going to be people who are buying the price of Bitcoin up here. But the thing is with this, it looks very, very erratic. And like this here, like, what is all that about? That's just getting pushed up to there, and then the rest of it's just like liquidations and stop losses for sure. A lot of bot algo stuff happening here, and it's just people getting stopped out of their positions, guys, and just getting wrecked on the way up on their shorts, and just then continuing to add to it. So that's why it does look a little bit janky. But I wouldn't say, you know, there's obviously going to be organic price action there as well, but a lot of it's just people getting forced to sell. I think most guys would agree on that. Does anyone add to that, Will, as well?
Yeah, I agree. One other thing as well is, like, I kind of feel like Bitcoin's going to get more boring to the dump side as there's more interest in buying it up. I've noticed that, I think a while ago we were kind of saying how I think that this is, you know, we thought this might be an absolutely massive nuke that just clears out a bunch of the licks down here. And it actually was a really boring slow dump. And I think you're probably going to see that more and more in Bitcoin, where, you know, it's really like we used to get these 10K candles down, et cetera, et cetera. But now you just see it stop within sort of like 4K, do a range and play some stuff out. So actually what I've been noticing is the pumps are actually a lot more aggressive in Bitcoin recently than
yeah. I actually agree with you, bro, on this one. Like, you know, you're Lord Dumper for a reason, but if you do look at this chart here, I'll quickly bring it up for you. like the reason, you know, if institutions are going to keep buying up Bitcoin and just holding it for long periods of time, you know, that's just indicative of there aren't going to be these sharp dump candles because there isn't the supply to come on. It's all just held up. And we know that this market, when it's being bought and held, it's not going to be sellers trying to get out of those positions. It's people who are long-term hodlers. So essentially, you're just making it easier for the price to pump because there's just a lack of supply. And the demand, if it stays the same, or it's almost like the demand could fall a little bit and still the price wouldn't actually change because you're seeing all this massive Bitcoin being held off circulating supply. So I agree to you. I don't think this bull market is going to have as severe crazy dumps. They will come and there will be big dumps, but we haven't had in previous markets big institutions which are going to hold the fucking Bitcoin forever. Literally, they're not scalping the market on 100x on Binance. These guys, they're never good. This is probably never going to move like for the foreseeable future. And when I say foreseeable future, it's probably like 10 years. This ain't moving for 10 years. They're just going to be using it as an iShare. And that's not going to affect the price of Bitcoin on the day-to-day. So I actually agree with you, man. I think we've got a lot. In this bull market, I think the dumps, the Lord Dumpu might be a little bit less dumpy, you know?
I went back on BitMEX and I was actually looking at some of the old order flow videos and stuff and watching it. And man, it's just crazy how far we've come. Bitcoin literally used to trade like a shitcoin. Like I used to see in the order books. Remember how paper thin they were, Max, in some places? Like you could literally sell like 100,000 contracts and push Bitcoin like a couple $100.
Yeah, I remember on corn.lol we used to watch it. It was hilarious.
Like you would get to an area and there would literally be like quite literally nothing in the order book because they'd have all these fake orders surrounding the price, and then they'd literally have an area where there was nothing. And if you just sold anything into the air, you'd get hundreds of dollars of slippage. So again, it's
maturing, man. It generally is maturing. I did a tweet about this. I was saying it's like when I don't have a son, but when I do in the future or a daughter, it's almost like they they grow up when they leave home, and you're just like, oh, like, is there any it's like grown up, it's matured. Is there anything else I could have done to have got more Bitcoin or helped Bitcoin? It's kind of that feeling because the price of Bitcoin is generally actually maturing now. Like this has only happened the last 6 months. All the before, yes, it's maturing and all this kind of crap. That was all bullshit. It actually wasn't maturing. It was still just being leveraged. It was still just being moved on these small exchanges. But the thing is, it actually is happening now, and it's quantifiably happening now when you see these institutions buying it. And it's not just fucking ETFs buying it. People don't realize we got these big public companies. We got these big private companies. And this is very interesting statistics. I don't know about China owning 194,000 Bitcoin. I'm not even sure about the America stuff. I take this with a pinch of salt, but it's written here and it's on the record. So countries are getting in. Obviously, they've been getting in for a while, but people don't get it. Like it really is maturing now, and the price action will eventually look like gold. I've said it a billion times. I think the price action is going to end up looking like gold. And it's going to, instead of going down 80%, if you look at the price of gold, it usually drops around 30, like let's say 30 to 60% maximum gold will drop. And I think we're going to get to that territory, bro. Not yet, but it's going to happen. What you got for us there, Chrissy boy? I'm looking at your chart, Chris. Can you hear me? Christopher.
Yeah. Sorry,
the Viking, the Viking with the big muscles. You can't even hear me. Your muscles are so big. You're literally, your muscles are in the way of the speaker, and you can't hear me speak. How are you, bro?
Good, man. No, I was doing a Lord Dumpu there, having myself talking while I was muted. No, but something interesting I saw, I think it was an article on Zero Hedge that a member in our community posted, but it showed that since the ETFs going live, and especially in the last couple of days, effectively really changing from the 5th and 6th of Feb, we're seeing massive outflows from, aggregate flows from from gold ETFs going out and Bitcoin ETFs going in. So we're really seeing a major change in the market, and the fact that, like, what's going to be when the market starts rolling over, right? Because this whole thing is unsustainable. Like, not to go macro, but we all know economically it's all under, not sustainable. Europe's in a recession, UK's in a recession, the US is technically, but they're arguing that market go up, we're all rich, yay. But effectively, with people looking at Bitcoin ETFs as now a store of value, just like they did with gold, is there the opportunity then for people to throw money into Bitcoin, into crypto, when the markets are turning over and we actually see them, losing parity? That's going to be a real interesting thing to see if it actually breaks that way. Now, it's not confirmed yet. Effectively, it's still been, markets going up. Generally, Bitcoin's been going up. All of the markets move in a cycle that's more tied to the global liquidity index than anything else. But yeah, I think there's a real strong case that Bitcoin could be performing very well,
Yeah.
even
at
if
the
the
gold
markets are
chart.
going down.
Yeah. Like it's a good. You bring up a good point. Like, because gold, is uptrending, of course. Like, we know that on its relevant time frame, for the weekly. But I drew this out a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months ago. I can't really remember. But I think gold's fate is something like this, and I think gold will steal the show. But it is an interesting point that you're seeing a lot of inflow into Bitcoin products, maybe because they're new, but gold is not getting any of that kind of traction, and that does bode in my mind that maybe Bitcoin could become something which is completely decoupled from everything, and then it just becomes a safe haven. But I imagine when gold actually breaks out, guys, because gold's going to go to $3,000 per ounce. It's inevitable. It will happen. It is guaranteed.
Yeah,
There is.
it's a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time. But like when gold does this, Chris, and I know that you love talking about gold and silver and metals. When gold does this, it's going to be mental, because I don't think it's going to affect. Like, everyone's like, oh, but when gold goes, it's going to be like no one cares about Bitcoin. I just think gold's going to become this huge marketing stunt for Bitcoin as well, because essentially you need a lot of money to move gold. If only 5-10% of that, if gold's moving up and institutions are watching their gold go up, which they do, and governments, they're just going to look at Bitcoin and it's going to have this huge marketing field. It's like, oh, obviously Bitcoin and gold are the same thing. And then all these cunts are going to come in and just fire in 5, 10, 15% into Bitcoin as well. It's going to be absolutely monumental, but it's going to happen, guys. Gold's going to do this very likely. It could fanny around for another 10 years, but I just don't think, eventually inflation is going to catch up with the government printing, and that's why they own gold in their reserves. It's because if they own gold in their reserves, they can essentially get, the price back of the currency they printed. But yeah, I think you bring up a good point there with the whole inflow thing. Bitcoin's mooning, gold's not, and then when gold moons, it's gonna be really nice. I'm gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting thing too, because the gold market cap is what, 12-13 trillion dollars. So
Yeah, I'll show you. Let's have a look at the exact number.
So what's the hypothetical Bitcoin? What's the hypothetical price there if we were eventually to go into
gold's 13.6 trill.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, if we go up another, it will be 20 trillion. I think that's the number I came to at $3,000. I looked at it, it's like 20 trillion something. So gold's going to be aiming at $20 trillion when it gets to 3,000 points. Might even be a bit more than that, but give or take, because I think you can actually work it out exactly, but it's difficult to know the exact circulating supply of gold notes, because this isn't actually gold bullion. This is just like basically the paper gold circulating. So you could do the calculation, but look, 2,000 go up, 35%. You're looking at around $20 trillion market cap. But like the bullion gold price will be different. But I don't want to go into that whole discussion, okay? Because that's going to take us ages to go through the gold price on paper gold and then the bullion price, because the bullion price is going to do something even more nuts, because obviously that's really, really scarce. But yeah, if we go $20 trillion market cap of gold, Bitcoin right now is trading at a $1 trillion market cap. So for Bitcoin to chase up gold now, where it is, it's 13 times the size. But if this grows to 20, then it's 20 times the size from where we are now. So, people are going to get a little bit, I think, bamboozled by the fact that, because actually, me and Will, we were doing this. We looked at the price it cost to build the Burj Khalifa. And it cost $1.5 billion to build the Burj Khalifa. And you're like, oh, well, that doesn't even sound that expensive, because, you could build a building today and, it doesn't even sound that bad. But the thing is about $1.5 billion, that was 25 fucking years ago. So like $1.5 billion is almost like $3.5 billion today. So the crazy thing is that people are going to get a little bit crazy with these numbers, because everyone's like looking at gold and thinking, when's Bitcoin going to eclipse the market cap of gold? Well, what happens if the market cap of gold just runs away with itself and goes to 20 trillion? Then you're looking at a 20x from there as well. So it's very, very promising.
Bitcoin just going to like, 10 trillion, that's a $500,000 coin. So
yeah, well, what is it? So no, I think it's $512,000 for $1 million Bitcoin. I think something like that. I can't remember exactly. there's a calculator for it. Maybe someone can do it in the chat. Maybe just whip it up, Will, or just whip it up now and I'll talk this. There's a calculator which tells you exactly what it is. Because obviously all you do is, is the circulating supply times the price. You get the market cap. So you can work it out. It's around 500K, I think. But you've got all these companies as well, still bigger than Bitcoin. It's actually even Bertha Hashaway. It just got across Tesla. So yeah, do this calculation. $20 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. That means the price will be, so if you have $10 trillion, it will be at 500, and it's going to be 500,000 because we're at 50,000 now. So it's about $500,000 per Bitcoin for $10 trillion market cap. So it will be $1 million Bitcoin if gold goes to $20 trillion market cap, which will happen. It will happen, guys. Like I'll put my fucking
$20 trillion market cap for Bitcoin is a mill. Like that's just the way it is.
Exactly. Yeah, it's $1 million. Yeah, well, it's 21 million Bitcoin. So it's because it's literally going to be, these numbers which people don't think are real, are going to be real. But if you told someone in 1960 that £1 would buy you less than a pack of crisps, back then they'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like £1's like my weekly wage." So it does get to these crazy levels where, if gold will go to 20 trillion, I think it's pretty much set in gold. Obviously, you say set in stone, but
and people don't realize like how the reality of that is that, I mean, how much is the dollar inflated to what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago? They target 2% inflation. Effectively, the government's solution is, or the Fed's solution is, let's target only 2% of theft of the value of your dollar per year. It's much higher than that. It's still 40% higher than it was before the COVID dump and the lockdowns. So what are we at now? 40% inflation in 4 years. It's not like great by any friggin' means. So
you can see here as well, just to change the topic completely, but one of the MDX indicators, you can see here that when all this volume came in underneath the price, it was just forcing it up. So it's a really nice indicator. It's just a spot when volume begins to come in into the market. You can see it here as well. As soon as it starts pumping, you just get all these volume nodes underneath it. But I think, man, honestly, the whole thing is going to get nuts. I think people are going to get real kind of confused with the numbers because, if it costs fucking $150 for a cup of coffee, people don't make that correlation between, well, what's like real world assets going to be at that point. Everyone understands CPI. They're like, yes, it has to go up because there's more currency, but they don't get it with Bitcoin. They think Bitcoin isn't the same as a product. So like it's going to get nuts, bro. Like all we need to do is gold will do what it's going to do. I know we're waffling on again about the long term, but I suppose it's all good. Gold's going to do what it's going to do. It's written in stone. It's guaranteed because essentially gold is money. Everything else is credit. So if you print more dollars, the price of gold will rise to account for that. So if we get to 3,000 points, that's $20 trillion market cap for gold. And then Bitcoin's very likely going to catch up with gold because we're looking at the inflows like you showed a second ago, the ETFs, they're going to all allocate towards it. So, that freaking ARK lady, with her big predictions of $1 million, it's not off the cards. It really is. A lot of people say it's completely ridiculous, but if you really think about it, it really isn't completely ridiculous. It probably will happen in our lifetime.
Maybe and that's the fun thing is that you got to start thinking. Don't think in dollars. Don't think in euros, crowns, whatever your local currency is. Think in sats. I mean, that's and there are those solutions already, and they're being blocked. I know Coinbase is like vehemently against having, the Lightning network integrated for some reason. I still think Bitcoin Lightning is. I just really think that's such a horrible thing because you can spend Lightning all over the place. I can spend it here where I live. I can spend it online. I can buy things with it. And eventually, the more layers that are built, the more DApps, the more DAOs, we're going to have, group, all these different funding options, Bitcoin banking, that type of stuff. It's just an eventuality.
I just forgot that we have to announce. Small Leo sent me a message. He's a legend. We got to announce the lifetime winner from last week on the tweet we did.
Thank you.
So we'll do that. I think whether you want to choose it on the MDX Algo Twitter or we'll do it together. All right, we'll just scroll down and we'll find someone we give it to. I haven't actually chosen it yet. Have you chosen anything yet, Chris?
No, I looked at them all. I was kind of waiting for your hominis dominus.
Yeah, Dominus. We'll do it in a second, but let me answer some questions, and we'll answer some questions to the panel. But yeah. So this guy said, MDX, honest question: if the US dollar collapses for whatever reason, how is BTC or any coin to be measured against? Well, that's the funny thing is, like, you know, the measurement tool for gold for thousands of years was the weight of gold. So how many grams of gold did you have? And essentially that's the same as saying if you have 1 gram of gold, you have 1 gram out of millions of grams of circulating supply. So say there's 150,000 tons of gold. If you know that you have 150 tons, you literally know exactly the amount percentage-wise, 0.01%. So it's kind of like, you can kind of, with Bitcoin, it's the same thing. You won't be denominating Bitcoin by US dollars. You'll just be saying, how many Satoshis do I have out of 21 million? So that's how it will be denominated. And then what you'll essentially do in your brain is you'll just very easily make a calculation. Honestly, if you've ever gone on holiday, think about how quickly your brain changes into that currency. It can take a week or less. And if you're mathematically minded, it can take you a day. And like, say you go to India and it costs like 1,000 rupees for something. You just do 1 or 2 shops and you suddenly realize like 400 rupees buys me this. And it happens really quickly. So it's not, everyone thinks it's this big jump, but it really isn't. As soon as, and also Satoshis are global. So 100 Satoshis in the UK is the same as 100 Satoshis in England. So you know exactly what the actual price of things are. Denominated in the value in comparison to the circulating supply, because you'd be like, well, it's 100 Satoshis here and 500 here. You know exactly that it's 5 times more expensive with no other bullshit in between. So, because it's difficult sometimes to be like, oh, well, it's $100 here, $5 there. It's like, it's all this constant FX, Forex bullshit. So it'll happen really quickly, mate. It won't be difficult. Honestly, it will just be.
Yeah, and it's the easiest conversion. You know, 1 Bitcoin equals 100 million sats. Like, people think Bitcoin can't be broken down. It's that simple. I mean, what's $10 right now? It's like 19,000 sats about, you know.
Yeah. And then imagine if it turns into 1,000 sats, same as the rupee. And then it'll be sick, man. And then you have me and Will were discussing this on another stream. Just saying that, you know, when you have Bitcoin and gold next to each other, which both have very, very reliable or predictable inflation rates, what you can actually do is you can actually have gold and Bitcoin pricing each other to create almost like an index, similar like a Dixie, which has lots of different fiat currencies in it to get a stable idea of what the fiat currency value is or purchasing power. You could do that with Bitcoin and gold. So you can have a basket of Bitcoin and gold, which will give you even more accurate representation. And then you really know what's happening. Then you can actually really, really calculate the inflation rates by just the value decrease or increase, because obviously the price doesn't mean anything by them, because all it is just like the devaluation of the price from inflation, because you know that Bitcoin isn't being inflated. You know, if it's 1.8% on Bitcoin and 3% on gold, you'll literally just see the prices moving at that rate up against each other, if that makes sense. I'm trying to quantify that analogy, or that idea. It makes sense. It's just like you can literally watch the inflation rate because that's just what there's going to be the difference in price between what's going up and down. So it's going to be sick. It's going to be like amazing. Hopefully that happens. We'll have to build something. Let's have some more questions. So we got you guys actually excited about what's the societal collapse? Yeah, it's one of those things.
More or less, like I'm preparing for it, and I want to make sure
it's
that
not exciting.
You know,
it's not exciting.
It's terrifying.
Societal collapse. It's just being realistic. Like, the thing is about most human beings is that this happens. A lot of people fall into this trap, especially with trading and life in general, is that they don't like to think about things that are negative from their subjective point of view. And the problem is with that is that you can get yourself into a real hole, because if you never actually like kind of face the devil itself or the problem itself, you never really know it's even there, just because you don't want to think about it because you don't like it emotionally. So we're not saying we're excited about the collapse. I'm just saying it's, and also I don't think it's even going to happen. I don't think there's going to be like some systemic collapse of the whole world. I just think there's going to be nations that have a lot of problems when their fiat currencies hyperinflate, and we've seen that happen all around the world, with Venezuela, with Turkey, areas of Iran. We've seen inflation rate 800% in Turkey one year. And then you see the repercussions of that on society. And it does collapse, but it's not like, Armageddon style, everyone's on the streets shooting each other. There are elements of that, and it's not like it doesn't happen. But I'm not saying I don't think there actually will be that big, apocalyptic fucking collapse. I don't think we're going to get that. I think there will be some bad shit, but I think America will go down pretty hard. But I'm saying like there's no point getting all like emotional about this. Like, oh, you're excited about it. I'm not excited about it. It just means that the gold price of Bitcoin is going to go up. We're prepared for it, and then we're doing this video to try and warn people about it. So that's really what it is.
Slap your microphone, sir. Slap it.
Slapping the Mikey. I'm talking about these deep, complex things after getting absolutely wasted on the weekend with 2 bottles of organic Redders with the girlfriend on birthday. So, but yeah, well, I'm just gonna read a bit. We're not saying we want a societal collapse. We're just preparing for it.
So, yeah, I mean, what's the prevailing idea? It's like you will own nothing and you will be happy. As
he's the most dangerous one out of them all.
Klaus Schwab.
There's nothing more dangerous than a socialist who thinks he knows better, what's better for you than yourself. That's not okay. Like,
it's the bug. The bug is good for the environment. And don't worry, we'll start it all with a carbon tax card. So now your credit card is linked to your carbon score, which is effectively just a social credit score by any other name. People are excited for that shit. They're out of their fucking minds.
Large, it was downscaled. What's this about? Let's have a look at this one. We need to do the freaking. Okay, look. Let's choose a winner. So we're going to choose the winner of the who's going to win the lifetime MDX Algo subscription right now. I'm going to go on Twitter and do it. We'll do a few more questions. We've done an hour now. Shit, in most large cities, the downtown areas look like they already collapsed. Exactly, yeah. Most areas of the United States already look fucked. I went to LA, and there's about 5 pockets. Yeah, there's about 5 pockets of nice places, and the rest of it is literally looks like something out of Mad Max. Like, just like abandoned buildings, drug addicts,
and some crackheads, and like,
mate.
Yeah, dude, it's a pretty.
It's worse than areas of India. India like has slums. Like, I've been to India, Mumbai, Jaipur, and all these places, and like you see some of the biggest slums you've ever seen in your life. But honestly, it looks more welcoming than some of these horrible concrete jungles you get in California, because at least it looks a little bit like, they've made it themselves.
It's just people trying to make it. There's not like people just ripped off of fentanyl, passing out, dying in the streets and shit, pooping in the street.
Oh, I missed that question. I'll do this one as well. I fear the scenario where our bags reap millions of dollars, then we exit into USDT or USDC to enjoy the profits, and then the USD would collapse after our bags.
Why would you exit into the dollar or a diminishing currency? That's the issue there.
What people don't. This is the question, right? People don't understand is that if Bitcoin goes to millions and millions of dollars, like let's say it goes to like $100 million per Bitcoin, the reason it went there is because nobody is prepared to sell Bitcoin for any amount of US dollars. So that you're not looking to get back into US dollars, because the reason it's $100 million for one Bitcoin is because literally people there is no one who is stupid enough to part with their Bitcoin with dollars. So people are bidding it up to hundreds of millions of them. I will give you $1 billion for one Bitcoin. Like, you're like, no. It's like, I don't want the dollars. It's never going to happen. It will just go to infinite dollars. Essentially, it's going to be a melt up. But everything is melting up. The price of everything is rising, but the value isn't. Just look at any asset, inflation adjusted. Like we did SBX last week, Chris. Like the value of things is not rising. It's just everything's melting up in comparison to US dollars, because more and more people are saying, I actually don't want to trade my US dollars for this thing I have, this house I have, this Bitcoin I have, this watch I have. They're like, I would rather hold the watch than US dollars. And more people are like, oh, I'll give you more and more and more and more until it just gets to hundreds of millions. And then the real game changer of this whole thing is just thinking about purchasing power. Like, what can my Bitcoin buy me? Like, what does one Bitcoin actually buy me? Don't give a fuck about the US dollar. Just go out in the market and see how much one Bitcoin can get you of something. What's the barter? What's the price in Bitcoin? So someone says, yeah, okay, I'll sell my house for one Bitcoin. All right, cool. That means my Bitcoin is worth the value of that house, not the price of US dollars.
Yeah, so if you're looking for the guys who are looking there for actually, I have it on my chart, but the idea is that you can compare yourself to something like the M2, like the money stock, to kind of judge roughly the inflation effect on the market. So when you're actually seeing things as they are in comparison to the failing of the dollar, I mean, we're not even close to 2000 levels, right? Like, so we're 24 years past that and nowhere near the actual value of it. And the
Just to
reality of the
reiterate to the
recession.
viewers, just reiterate to the
Yeah.
viewers, this is inflation adjusted, isn't it? For the
Yeah.
price
So
of what do you?
I'm using the money stock, the M2, to show where the fact that like this is how much money's in circulation being printed indefinitely. Like we're literally just printing money. Like that's all it is. And since the COVID lockdowns and that whole printing Ponzi, we went up 42%. We're printing again now because we're in election cycle in the U.S. and the old senile one wants to win re-election. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But you can take this with any chart. So you can take like say the Bitcoin chart, divide it by the WM2NS, because you can have custom charts on TradingView where you also use a plus sign to add them together or something, and you can get inflation adjusted charts now, right? So inflation adjusted, we're doing pretty damn good Bitcoin wise, and where we went down, if you inflation adjusted, I would probably even argue that there's a fair argument that the Bitcoin price inflation adjusted is probably more accurate, especially when you look at where it retests and structure compared to the normal Bitcoin chart on a very high time frame.
Yeah, it's great analysis, man. I'm looking at the Twitter now to find someone who's going to win. But yeah, like the point of this is the whole thing is like the SPX hasn't even broken out as all-time high, inflation adjusted, right? That's the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Dow Jones, and that's just a nightmare. Like it just paints the picture of like what's actually happening, right? Up only. We're up from these highs. We're up 250% from the highs to where we are now, and then
do
compare
inflation
that.
adjusted.
Yeah,
the amount of currency being printed. This is a perfect way to just articulate the point I make about, people know the price of everything, the value of nothing, is that the value has not increased. It's not above its all-time high. It hasn't gone up 250% in value. It's risen 250% in price, but the value hasn't moved essentially since 2008.
Yeah, I mean
It's
that's where
hilarious.
we're at 08 levels now. We're close to all-time high levels. So even then, the markets are at new all-time highs. Like even from just 4 years ago, it's like bullshit. Like look at the 2021 bull high.
People don't look at this, bro. Like honestly, we speak about this at the end of like an hour-long stream, like on the side, because we kind of get this for many years, like maybe 10 years. We've kind of understood this, but like it should actually be something we speak about at the beginning of the fucking stream. We should be looking at all of our charts, inflation adjusted.
Yeah,
this is how you
orange pill someone. This is how you orange pill people to Bitcoin. 100%. You say like the markets aren't going up, the value of their dollar is going down. That's all it is.
We're going to do the giveaway in a second, guys. So I'm going to choose someone who's going to win. I'm just going to scroll through, look at the comments, and just pick a one I like. Tell me message me, Chris, which one you liked. And Will, you message me as well which comment you liked. And then if I agrees with any comment I like, we'll just make that the winner. So go on the tweet, find a comment you like, and then if we all come into an agreement, we'll use that as the guy who wins lifetime. Hi, MDX. You're amazing. I love your content. Thanks, bro. Appreciate you being in the old chat. Are you going to talk about how the cryptocurrency called RNDR, render, is currently going up? Yeah, I think this is quite a cool platform. You can like render essentially content, like I think with a cloud computing service, which is decentralized. I'm not really into it, mate. I think if it's going up, it's probably because two factors. It's probably got a great fundamental project and lots of investors, and then the price is rising, and then lots of other traders are now jumping in. So if it's running, it's running, man. But I won't bring it up now. Max, do you really think what? Sorry, sir. Do you really think things are as bad as people make things out to be? Social media seems to magnify every micro issue in every part of the world. Yeah, I don't think so, mate. I think it's just the typical thing. Like if you sit and watch the news all day, you're probably going to be a bit worried about a lot of things because the news is only going to tell you things that are worrying or concerning. It's not like positive. Also, you have to understand that media companies don't make money from, reporting on positive things. Like negativity sells and fear sells. People buy things when they're scared, or they buy things when they're shocking, and everyone loves the gossip on someone else when they make a mistake. It's just built into us as human beings. So media companies are incentivized to write shocking, more crazy. It's like thumbnails on YouTube. It's like everyone's trying to make their thumbnail more and more crazy and nuts, because it's like you get the click, and a lot of it is fear based. Like if you put out your top, things, like the top thumbnail I ever did with the most views, and it might be a little bit, there might be other factors, but it's, I think one of my biggest videos was live XRP pump and dump nuke. Like so many views. Everyone just loves that. It's like negative pump and dump, whatever. So like negativity sells. So you got media companies that are incentivized to sell negative things and fearful things. You have things that are important for survival are negative, because there's a tsunami coming. This tsunami hit this country. If you're watching that all the time for this. And then social media essentially mean that you see everything. So yeah, it definitely is. Like the world's not actually that bad, and the world is much more secure and safe and harmonious than it's pretty much ever been in history, especially after the Second World War. We had like a really nice peaceful period, and then Second World War was like really bad. Obviously a lot of death. And then out of that, since today, it's been a really fast increase in just like less murder, less homicide, less suicide. All these things has gone down significantly since the medieval times. Medieval times was fucking mental. I think it was like literally like 1 to 10% of people got murdered. It was just insane. So like life's probably a lot better now, but essentially it's just to do with money. That's why you should probably try and listen to people who, the best way to do it is unfortunately just to find people that you enjoy to listen to, and maybe make it so it's a broad spectrum, and then pay for their individual services, where they do a newsletter or they have their own like kind of way of looking at the world, or they have a podcast. That's the best way to get your information, like more to where it's coming from or what you want to listen to, not just like a broad statement, the sun. Like listen to us, because we're like, it's just, they're all just trying to make money. We need exit strategy training. It's true. Yeah. Exit strategy is very important. My exit strategy I've already spoken about is that I'm not going to be selling into US dollars at the end of this bull market. Specifically, I'm going to be moving the Bitcoin I sell and the crypto I sell when I think the top has happened. I think it's going to be into predominantly gold, bullion gold, and Pax gold. So those are my three things. I'm going into gold. I just can't be asked with US dollars. I'm just going into gold next. That's just going to be my thing.
Chris and I found a good winner, by the way.
Okay, sick. Do you want to? So have you both agreed on both the winner? Do you want to send it to me and I'll have a look at it?
Yeah, we put it in the chat.
Okay, one second. I'll look at it now. Yeah, that's quite a good one. Yeah, I didn't see that one, but if you guys both agree on it, I'm happy to go with it.
Yeah, if it sets them up for life, let's do it. I like that comment. Clearly in need of it. I think give it to him.
Sure, give it to him. Okay. All right, boys. Let's Legendes. We're going to do that. And then we're going to do another one. Okay. So we're going to do another tweet. Will, you've got a tweet ready for the end of this, right? We're going to fire out a tweet. And then
all done. Ready to go.
And we'll do a nice image on it, all that kind of crap. All right, guys. So the winner, if you're in the chat right now, I will do some more of these. There are some really good questions actually on this stream. I'm a bit hungover and a bit tired. So maybe, the questions if they feel better, maybe they're always like this. But right now, I think some of the questions are actually quite good. Maybe I'm just thinking deeper about it because I'm so sad and depressed and hungover. Guys, help me. No, let's right. So the winner is going to be. I'll put up my chart. My chart, not a chart, is it?
Oh no, the Dubai lag is coming.
Oh no, is it doing crazy shit?
Oh, you're back. You just went submarining for a second.
Submarine. Why is Dubai always putting me in a fucking submarine? Oh god. Okay, so the winner is I'll find the tweet.
Tap your mic. Tap your mic real quick. See if that helps.
Yo, hello.
Yeah,
Slap that fucking bitch. Come on. Like, why is Dubai putting me in a fucking submarine? I don't want to drown. I've done nothing wrong. I'm a good citizen. Shit. Right, so I'm trying to find the guy's comment. His name is...
Oh, we linked it to you in
Sierra
the
Oscar.
chat.
Sierra Oscar is the thing. I'm going to find him. Come on. Sierra Oscar, where you at?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What would you say?
I said I linked it to you in the Discord chat, or Viking did.
Do you want to just put it in the live chat? Because I haven't got Discord open right now.
Yeah.
Put the link in the live chat. I'll click it there. Yeah, so Sierra Oscar, I think it is. Sierra Oscar wins. You win a lifetime subscription to MDX Algo. Now we're going to do another one, though, Legends. So stay around. We're going to give away another lifetime subscription. At the end of these videos, after the hour, we'll always do it. But Sierra Oscar will win.
19. Sierra Oscar 19.
Where is the bastard? So can you send me the link, bro?
I did.
It's there.
The chat.
Oh, here he is. I fucking found him. Anyway. So Sierra Oscar, you did this tweet, so you can see here, out of 110 comments, 112 retweets, and 125 likes with 4.6 thousand views. You are the winner, brother. I will message you now. Put a nice little message in saying you won, legend. And then do a little rocket. Of course, it's going to be a... Whoa, what happened there? Of course, we're going to blast off a rocket. And then we'll do another tweet now, and we'll do exactly the same contest, legends, because we're going to give away a lifetime every single week for MDX Algo. Obviously, guys, go and check out MDX Algo itself, the website. We have probably the best trading education platform in the world, I would say. Just if you want to go from A to Z in trading. You can get mentorship, you can get one-on-one coaching, you can get the best indicator suite I know of. You can get a really nice dashboard. You have we have this amazing kind of course ebook. We have a trading 20-30 lesson trading course now. So yeah, everything you need is in one place, mdxalgo.com, and it's essentially the best trading education platform. If you're a beginner trader, you'll become profitable. If you're profitable already, you'll become significantly more profitable. That's the goal, and that's what it's there for. It's for everyone. It's just a trading education platform, trading platform for everybody. Go check out mdxalgo.com. You know what to do. Why? What did this guy say? Why? You won instead of you. Let's have a look. Black Friday like deals. Yeah, we did a Black Friday deal. We won't be doing a Black Friday deal all the time, guys, because obviously we did a significant discount. To get lifetime right now, it's around $1,850 we charge for that. And that's actually amazing, down from what we usually do at like 4,000 or 5,000. So yeah, we're not going to do them all the time, but essentially when we give away a lifetime subscription, we're giving you a gift card as well. So you actually get a gift card, and then if you wanted to, you could resell that gift card for 1.8K to somebody else. But it depends on whatever you want to do with it. Most of you guys will probably use it. Asking for a single. So yeah, guys, let's do another one. So Will, what tweet have we got this time, broski?
It's already linked in both chats again for you.
Oh, the new comment, yeah? The new comment?
Yeah, the new tweet.
Just post it, and then I'll link it. Is it already posted?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you've already done it. Okay, we're going to approve giveaway for more lifetime ownership. Like, retweet, comment, amazing. Must be following, perfect. Welcome, good luck. Yeah, this is exactly what we want to be doing, legends. This is the tweet, mate?
Yeah, definitely must be following as well, guys. We're checking this time with a little bot, so make sure that you're following, and then we're going to do an automatic little shuffle of it, and then we'll find someone in the comments. So just make sure that you're following, liked, retweeted, and commented. Yeah,
that's the winner lifetime. We'll announce it next week. Just go, like, comment. Basically, what we do is the best comment. So like, just write something about the channel, write something about your trading experience, write something about some shit, and then we pin that as well on the chat. I don't even know how to. But yeah, so we got a little video on here as well of the platform with Stefan. The Steflar's on there. Absolute genius. But yeah, guys, like, retweet, and comment that, and then you'll have a chance to win MDX Algo lifetime subscription, leggies. But yeah, that's kind of it, guys. Overall price action, just to recap, $51,200 is the line in the sand. I will buy it on a retest trade. High low, maybe get some sort of ascending formation. And if we lose it like that, and then back into it as resistors, I'm looking for a short. That's what we're looking for. And then if not, it's long until proven otherwise. Absolutely lovely, jubbly, bubbly. But yeah, everyone, man, the tweet, I want to be able to, the tweet link's there. You guys can probably click on it. But yeah, go and like it, comment on it, and fucking do what you got to do. And then you will have a chance to win a lifetime subscription for MDX Algo next week. Go check out the whole thing. get a freaking Bingx account, use the trading bot. Obviously, with Bingx, you get access to Z Trading Bot Uniente, and we have all the other stuff in the links below, like VPNs and shizzer. All right, legends. Anything you want to add to the end, or are we all good? What's Chris up to on his screen?
I think I think we're all good. The one thing I was going to look at was total 3, and I think to kind of finish off the idea. Yeah, so I think the overall kind of idea that we have on the higher time frame is really simple. Is we've had some incredibly strong moves from total 3, so we see that money's flowing. I usually use the acronym BEAMS. Bitcoin, ETH, alts, micro caps, shitcoins, and that's generally the high to low cap flow of structure. And with Bitcoin dominance ranging sideways and breaking down, and total 3 pumping, ETH pumping, total 2 pumping, it looks more like if we go flat and sideways, even if we have a flush to 50K and then start ranging, you'll probably see some continuation with alts, especially alts that still have highs left from sometime in mid-December. That mid to late December, if there's still liquidity there, I think those are good to target potentially. A lot of alts have already moved. So now you're looking at ones, especially in the top 100, 200, that have liquidity left there, because then that's ripe for the taking across the board in my mind. The only invalidation of that is really a high dominance flush of Bitcoin where we actually start breaking shit, in which case everything is going to start retracing. But I think overall that's the healthy move now. And then we talk about maybe some retracement, then some move back to Bitcoin, maybe having one more move.
This guy was upset he didn't win. I was 2 comment above Oscar. Maybe next time, brother. But yeah, we're going to give away a lifetime once a week. So all good, leggies. Get you in the community. That guy looks like he's going to enjoy it. And go like it, comment on it. Great content. Cheers for all you boys coming in, Chrissy Boy and Smallie, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take it easy.
Peace out.
Take it easy, brothers.